Okay, let's hold on. I love this. Anecdote the based. Stupid or idiot are definitely not ableist slurs. They can be applied to anyone for any action or to any actions. If you're going to say that they are, then simple colloquial language or critique would have to be corrected. Okay. What about the R word, the R slur? I could make the exact same argument for saying it's not TOS. I should be able to say it. I'm neurodivergent, all right? But you know what I'm saying. Just so that people don't like go absolutely fucking ape shit on me in chat. What about moron? Literally an ableist slur. It's not a slur, but it is ableist. What are you talking about? How is it like calling someone black? No, it's calling someone stupid, right? This is, okay, you want to know the thing that actually triggers the fuck out of me? Is that we've taken all of these words that used to mean something, right? And we all recognize, oh man, saying retarded, that's a bad thing to say. Because when you look back into the history of what that term meant, it was referring to like anybody who had like a relatively low IQ score, or anybody that had Down syndrome, and they would lobotomize them, right? But it's like over time, the word changed its meaning to not literally mean someone with Down syndrome that we have to lobotomize. It changed it into something that just meant generally stupid, right? In the same way that stupid or dumb or hysterical or psychotic or schizo or any of these words that are also ableist slurs, those words kind of changed in the way that we used them to where they change. Like it's a completely new meaning of the word. Right? There's still like a remnant of the meaning from what it originally was used for, but has a new meaning. But we're going back in time and we're going back into the history books to find out what this word meant originally. And we're applying that to what that word means now. Same thing goes for the G word, not Gusano, but the one for people from Romani, like descendants. Right? Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm so sorry.
Am I in a voice call?
You are. You're in a stream call.
Am I in a voice call in Discord right now?
Yes,
Scared the fucking shit out of me, bro.
I'm gonna drag in Serene because he has only like 10-15 minutes.
Oh, it's 10-15 minutes. All right, let's fucking go.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna hold on. How do I do that?
You just click and drag. I can do it. Is it Soren DC?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How's it going, buddy?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing just great. All right. So I was told that you don't have a whole lot of time, so we can do this super fucking quick. All right.
Yeah.
Give me your full take. Lay it all out for me.
So I think one thing to understand, I don't think Christian relayed the like fully accurate take to you. Okay. I think most of my takes on most issues have fall into two categories. I have ideological takes and I have practical takes.
Okay.
And so I think in an ideal world, of course, nobody would ever use slurs ever. But in the real world that we live in, which is very obviously not ideal, I think it should be recognized that saying the C slur, I won't say it because I think apparently you can get banned for saying it. Saying the C slur is being treated by Twitch as being as bad as saying the N-word, and I don't think the two are nearly on the same level, just because of the histories behind the two.
Okay, but you can recognize that, like, if we had the ability to just remove all historical context from both of these words, right? We still recognize them as words for what they mean, right? N-word is a derogatory term for a black person. C-word is a derogatory term for a white person. Remove all history. Would they be as bad as each other?
See, that's where my take comes in, because it's not possible to remove all history. We don't live in an ideal world.
Right, but in a hypothetical world.
Well, I don't think it's very useful to deal with hypotheticals, but I mean, like, if hypothetically neither term had any history behind it, they'd both just be gibberish. So, like, yeah, they both have the same level of meaning.
So, yes, I agree with that, right? But we start with these hypotheticals to start as a baseline, and then we can keep on going from there. So if we recognize that from a baseline they're both bad, do you think that it's then acceptable if we recognize that being like racist to someone is bad, which is why we have all these additional things to them, all the history, right? If we 1 second, I'm getting a lot of background noise. Can you possibly turn the put yourself on like push to talk? Oh, there you go. That works too.
I don't know how to do that. I'll just mute myself while I'm not talking.
Yeah. So being racist to someone is bad. If we're racist to someone, whether they're white or black, that's a bad thing. Would you disagree with that?
In like purely technical terms, yeah, but I also don't think the world is binary. It's not things are yes racist or not racist. There can be varying degrees. And I think calling a black person the N-word is way, 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 way more racist and way more reprehensible than calling a white person by the C slur.
Okay, why? Is it because of the history of the words? Like, is that really all it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, do you think that people when someone's being racist to them that they're thinking about the fact that they have white privilege and honestly this doesn't really affect them in the grand scheme of things, or do you think that they might feel it a little bit differently as an individual?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so I don't think that people feel these things as classes, right? So if I talk about the C word, right? I don't think that white people in general are going to be hurt by people saying the C word in the same way that like if we normalize saying the N word, that it might harm like the black community, right? But do you think an individual feels that way when someone's being racist towards them as an individual?
I think some individuals might get offended by the usage of the C slur, but I don't think that's the overwhelming majority of individuals. Whereas I think, I mean, obviously, I don't know, I'm not a black person, but I think in the black community, from what I can tell from speaking to black people, an overwhelming majority of black people would be offended if a white person called them the N-word.
Well, yeah, right. I agree with that, right? But also, if you ask like those same people if they think it's acceptable to be racist to someone because they're white, I almost guarantee you those people would say that it's wrong to do that and that you shouldn't call someone the C word, right?
Well, again, you're operating in terms of binaries, right? Because it's saying like, is it okay to be racist or something like that? Obviously, it's never okay to be racist, but there are varying degrees of things. If you like, I mean,
well, then,
as an extreme example,
what degree of racism is acceptable to you?
As an issue of like practicality, I do not get offended if somebody like uses that word to refer to me, just because it has no effect on me.
Okay. I'm going to ask the same question. All right, the same question that I've been asking. Do you think that like as an individual, someone's going to think about like the histories of these things when someone's being racist to them individually?
I don't think they're going to explicitly think about it, but I think the history of the word is implicit in the usage of the word,
okay,
depending on the context.
So if someone's being racist towards a white person, I've had someone be racist to me before, right? In the grand scheme of things, it really didn't like fuck me up all that much. But when I started recognizing that they were being racist to me, kind of felt bad, right? And I don't think that that sort of thing is something that we should be normalizing or saying is okay to do towards people, even if it is a lesser degree of racism than if you were to do it to black people, right?
I mean, sure, to like, if you want to, again, I think if you're defining it in terms of being racist or not being racist, then
right. But like
yeah, obviously as a general thing, being racist is bad, but I don't think, for example, using like a word that in an overwhelming majority of contexts is even used satirically is as bad as like, for example, like committing a hate crime.
Okay, do you think that the N-word is overwhelmingly used as a hate crime, or do you think it's overwhelmingly used just like interpersonally in the African American community?
I think I mean, like, obviously, again, I'm no expert on black people because I'm not one. I think generally when African Americans use the N-word, they're using it just like as a, I don't know, just as a normal word.
Do you think that when most white people use it, do you think that they're overwhelmingly trying to be racist with that?
I think so, yes. And I've met white people who like use the N-word regularly, and an overwhelming majority of them, I think pretty much all of them, all of those people whom I've met are like really racist people.
Just really quickly, Sansol, because you had said something before, Serene, which is that you didn't actually think that the C word was a slur to begin with. Am I understanding what you're saying correctly, or did you want to like, you have a different take, or just want to make sure?
Oh, sorry. Who are you talking to? To me or to?
Yeah, you. Do you think that this, like, aside from like Twitch, like TOS, do you yourself think that it is a slur?
I think as far as like technical definitions go, yeah, sure, it can count as a slur. But again, there are varying degrees of everything. So I don't think that in terms of, again, returning to practicality, I don't think that in terms of Twitch terms of service, usage of like the C slur should be punished to the same extent as usage of the N-word. And I don't use Twitch regularly, so I don't know. But as far as I can tell, both of them result in the user being banned.
Okay. So again, what level of racism is okay with you from a practical point of view?
I don't think, okay, I think, again, asking me to define a line doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, just because, I mean, I would handle everything on a case-by-case basis. Obviously, for like a giant corporation like Twitch, that's not possible. And like, sure, if they need to make some kind of rule, maybe it's fine for them to say like no slurs, but I don't think even that is something that's like not possible to enforce.
Okay, but it seems like you were willing to make that line when you were talking about, well, obviously, the like slurs used against black people, that's obviously a bad thing, but slurs used against white people, obviously that's not that bad of a thing because of the historical context. So you've already drawn a line somewhere, right?
Yeah, sure. Then I'd say that probably the line I'd draw is whether or not the group it's being used against and whether or not the word itself has been used as a tool of oppression in the past.
So
and the
again,
C-slur has never been used as a tool of oppression, of systemic oppression against white people.
Okay, so now we're running back to systemic oppression. But again, I don't think that people as a class feel things as a class. They feel things as an individual. And if you're going to say that the line in the sand is what groups have been systemically oppressed in this group, you're like pretty explicitly saying that it's okay to be racist towards white people, but it's not okay to be racist towards any other group. And I think that that's a really, really fucking sketchy line to draw in the sand, rather than actually taking things out on case-by-case basis, seeing if a slur was being used in context either as a joke or interpersonally between people that actually can like can accept each other using those words or something like that, right? Like this sort of thing right here is what I think is the shit take.
All right. Well, I mean, in that respect, just to clarify something, I don't think like black Twitch streamers should be banned for using the N-word either. But that's basically my time, I guess. So thank you for having me, and thank you for the discussion. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, if you want to come back on and like flesh out the full take, then just hit me up. All right, buddy?
All right, cool.
All right. Bye.